HuffPost labor reporter Dave Jamieson was on C-SPAN to talk about Striketober, and a caller called in and had some, I mean, like, where would you find these critiques of labor unions? This must be an incredibly right-wing caller, I'd imagine, right, Matt?
Is this a right-wing caller? This is some old retired asshole.
I haven't. Okay.
He's on the independent line, the independent call line.
Oh, he's an independent. You have to identify yourself on C-SPAN of like what side you think you're on. So I was just curious.
Yeah, this is the independent former boss line.
Okay, let's take a listen.
Good morning.
Good morning. Now, excuse me, but I told you're going to cut me off. I don't want to speak. You let a lot of people go on and on. You're going to let me speak?
Steve, ask your question. You're on now.
Okay, fine. All right. I want to mention three things about labor unions, okay? First of all, I'm a white-collar person. I'm as white-collar as they get. I double majored as an undergrad in physics and math and got a master's degree in materials science. Mm-hmm. I moved out to California in 1988, and I had to manage blue-collar people for a year. And that's what unions represent, blue-collar folks, all right? That was the longest year of my life, okay? They didn't care about learning. They didn't care about improving their skills and things like that. They could have cared less about that. They were just there to collect the paycheck. Of course, the bigger the paycheck, the better. That's obvious. That's basically managing the trailer park trash. That's who joins unions.
Stephen, what's your question?
Okay, that's the first. It's not a question. These are comments, like you let other people give comments about their histories. Second of all, inflation. Concerning, that's what unions generate. They generate inflation. I live here at a condo in a high-rise. I couldn't believe the things I was hearing about what I was not allowed to do in my high-rise. I can understand not being able to do structural work, like pulling down concrete walls and things like that because of weakening the structure, and I should know what that is, being given my educational background. But about the only thing I'm allowed to do now is paint. Why is this? Simple, because the unions have bribed the town council and the building inspectors to make sure that, like,
All right. Well, I mean,
we can maybe try to pick it up.
Let's pick it up in a sec, but there's a lot there. One, David Feldman really committing to his lefty from way back bit there.
I mean, yeah, this is it's not even a worker from way back. He's just like always a white collar guy.
Oh, he emphasized he's white collar. He has all of these degrees and he lives in a high rise.
I mean, that's the. Well, I wonder what he wants to do with his luxury high rise. Like, I don't think.
Oh, luxury high rise. I'm so sorry.
Well, I don't think he said that, but I assume that's what he's talking about here. I mean, this is a wealthy guy. We can tell.
He made that clear.
The comment about like didn't care about learning skills, and it's like if your wage is. If you're not getting enough in wages, why you're not going to be motivated to learn more workplace skills, like actually ownership over an enterprise. As somebody who now owns alongside David Grissom a business, I mean, I think that's just fatuous bullshit about people not wanting skills. But do we play a little more, Bradley?
Yeah, I mean, and just like the rage in which the rage that he has for the people that worked under him or worked with him, like, it sounds really personal, dude, and sounds like you are projecting your own like insecurity and need to be a superior in all the ways that you so conveniently list for C-SPAN. And that means that you're probably just a little bit afraid of not having legitimacy, and so you need to put up all of these artificial barriers between you and other non-very white-collar people below you.
I want to make a sitcom of him having to go to California and manage blue-collar folks, because it sounds hilarious.
Yes, it's a real fish out of water situation. Or maybe just a reverse undercover boss. Or no, undercover boss, but except forced in a prison camp. All right, continue.
Can't even lay down laminate flooring in my condo. Third thing, We hear all the time, and this man over here from the HuffPost should know this, and I don't think he does. We hear this now for going back, 15 years, how the workers are not getting the benefits of their productivity, and that this started in the 70s. But has anybody ever asked whether those workers were overpaid before their real wages started leveling out?
All right. We'll put that to Dave Jamieson.
Yeah, not sure where to start there. Thanks for the call. You know, as for like blaming unions for inflation, you know, we have very high inflation right now. Maybe it's temporary, maybe it's not. I think he'd be hard pressed to find many economists out there who would lay the blame for the inflation we're seeing.
Yeah. So, man, that's the Feldman joke though. So everyone's been saying that productivity of workers has been decoupled from their wages for 30 years now. Does anybody think that maybe this? First of all, like, there's a reason that it was aligned with productivity in the first place. Like that, there was some sort of correlation there that meant workers were sharing in it. Like the idea that they need to stop sharing in it because they were sharing in it. It's a great. I think like the thing that's great about this is I think a lot of wealthy, powerful people literally think this. Mm-hmm. And they know that they can't elaborate it publicly because it'd be a PR nightmare. Because saying like, yeah, you're fucking done with raises, and it's a good thing you've been done with raises for 50 years or 40 years now, because that's all you deserve. I mean, I think the Republicans should just run on that in 2024.
How about the skills thing? It's like it's the less genteel version of the we need to just train workers to use computers. Who said that in the primary? Was it about like workers who used to work at Macy's or whatever? They need to learn how to do it. Was it Bloomberg? Probably. But that, I mean, that's just the more bold-faced version of that. And like a lot of this resentment too, I guess he called in on the independent line, but the reason I asked about his political identification, because you pointed this out about the January 6ers, Matt. Like a lot of these guys are the business owning class, and they have resentment that they have to share the profits that they make with their workers. And oftentimes for a lot of these, especially racist MAGA folks, they are exploiting undocumented workers. They are trying to cut corners on wages, on benefits, whatever the case may be. And that's where a lot of this comes from. Just think Marjorie Taylor Greene, who owns her own business, or did. It's the same kind of people.
I hope he gets into a luxury place that he can put down laminate flooring down. So
right.
I
Me
truly
too.
feel like, I mean, that's talk about like knowing what the working class goes through. You're unable to put down laminate flooring in your high-rise apartment.
So he's in Miami, right?
Yes, exactly.
Let's guess. Like, oh, you want to put you sound tacky as hell.
I want to know everything about this guy.
Yeah.
I want to know where every dollar came in, where every dollar went out. Like, I think it'd be fascinating to know.